YouTube. Listen, I've been putting this video off for about a week, I think. This whole YouTube thing I've been putting off for 10 years, so yeah. But Inktober's actually today. It's the 1st of October now, which marks the first day of my first Inktober ever. Last year I kind of just forgot the first and then told myself that I couldn't just start it on the 2nd and stuff like that. You know, bad excuses. So this year I'm gonna do it. There's been this thing going around with showing up your supplies, and well, I can do that, so why not? Let's start off with the non-inks, which sounds kind of silly, but it's okay to sketch out your drawings first. I might not do it every single time, but some of the times I might want to do it. So I have a pencil I have from my granddad. It's just a hard lead pencil. Draws very friendly. And of course, my favorite eraser, needed. Yes, this thing is super old, but it still works, to be honest. And if you don't have a container, if you didn't get a container when you bought it, there's old film canisters are actually really good as a makeshift container. Works super well, keeps all the air out. And of course there's a mixing tray of porcelain. Really like this. It's easy to clean. Use it for my watercolors and inks. And of course you can never go wrong with a pipette, or what's it called in English? Can't remember. It's a pipette. Whatever. Always nice to have with water and inks from a big bottle and stuff. So I guess this kind of counts as an ink thing. It's just a ballpoint pen. It's a light blue, and I think I'm gonna use this to sketch when I'm out and about. And it's just really my sketching pen. Moving on to the brush pens, we have this, which is a DIY brush pen, ink brush pen. It's just a super cheap water brush. Doesn't have the water compartment goes directly up to the brush. So whenever I've tried to use it for watercolors, it just sucks up all the color into the water compartment, which is okay for monotone pictures, but it's really annoying if you want to use it as an actual water brush. But I put ink in it, and it can't do a few small thin lines, but it's usually very good for big blobs of color. Just block in everything, and you can go all out. It's nice. It's just blocking in brush. Then I have my Pilot Chinese calligraphy pen. It's a brush tip, but it's like a firm tip. You can do some really thin lines, some fairly thick ones. I really like this. I've fallen in love with it. It's pretty new, but it's just super nice. Especially out and about, because the next one, the pencil pocket brush, I love this. It's super hard to master. Still haven't done so. But it has actual individual hairs in the tip, so it's kind of, I find it fairly hard to control when you're in the train or anything like that in a moving setting. This one's a lot easier to control out there, but I want to get better at this as well, so I'm including it, which is kind of the whole point. So moving on to the bottle ink. I have this giant Indian ink bottle that's gonna last me a long time, but you can't really draw out of this giant bottle, so put it in a smaller jar. To be honest, it's just the same black ink I use in the water brush, but I love this. I have a lot of it. And I'm gonna get better at it. Woo! Black ink. And then we have these lovely shellac inks in colors. Ta-da! And these are super nice and super fun to work with. I have one in an indigo blue. I'm gonna show these colors a lot better in a moment. There's the deep green. And a yellow green. And that's the only colors I'm really gonna use during Inktober, because that's the colors I have. I do have some pit pens which are ink, but I'm not gonna use them for Inktober. Just these, and it's gonna be fun. Oh, I forgot about the I am gonna use a water brush, simply because water washes. Again, ink washers, it's called. Again, just because I want to get better at it and I want to try it and experiment. So, for the actual brushes, I am gonna use an array of flat and rounded. I have this small one for details and stuff. It's really nice. It's just kind of there. Don't know how much I'll use it. Then we have a bigger rounded tip. Big splotches as well. Let's show off these color shellacs. There's the indigo, super lovely dark blue. There's a deep green, again beautiful. Have a bit of cold tone and I love it. One of my favorite colors, and another one of my favorite colors is yellow green. Just toxic color, beautiful. Look how they interact. Just go whoop, whoop, whoop. Another awesome thing about these shellacs is if I put down a lot of water, just go there. Look how it just floats out. It creates these kind of beautiful rooty tendrils from the blotch. I love it. That's the rounded brushes. The flat brushes, I have this the small one. It's just small flat brush. This big one that I love to use this for blocking in, because it has this slanted, what's it called, angle to it, so you can make some really sharp corners and put a lot of color down in one go. And then for the first time ever, I'm gonna try and use a fan brush. Never really used these before. This is actually a nail art brush, but I don't do that much nail art. I leave that up to my little sister. Never really tried using these, but one time has to be the first. Wow, that is messy. Woo! It can create some really cool, what's it called? Textures around. It dries out fairly quickly, but whee! It's fun. I'm gonna have to make a point of using this more, because as said, I want to get better at it. And then we have the nibs. I'm gonna use mostly these two. This one is my absolute favorite because, well, it's also the first one I had that was completely my own. Let's see. I love this. It's like a broader head, but can still do the thin lines. So it has a really cool line variation. Really like that. And then we have this one. It's a lot thinner. You can just do like super thin lines. Lovely. And for the last thing, a sketchbook. It's just a sketchbook. Made this myself. Got my favorite print on it. It's just a folio. What's it called? Like a sticky giant sticker. Can't remember what it's called. On the outside, one of my favorites, it's space. So nice. Yes, it's just watercolor paper and this little ribbon, so I know where I'm at. Found this and did a terrible job at cutting the edges, but it's fine. It's fine. I still love it. So I'm gonna do Inktober, and I've decided that since it's my first, I'm just gonna go with the official prompt for Inktober 2017. And today is the first day. It's right now, and the first prompt is Swift. I've already made a sketch for today because, I don't know, I thought Swift kind of like would be fun to do a vehicle of some kind. I started to think about motorbikes and stuff like that, and they do have that kind of fastness to them. They're a lot less clunky than cars, but again, Swift gives this this floaty feeling. So it's a broomstick, kind of modified broomstick. It's gonna be fun. So let's get started. While I'm drawing, I might as well just talk a little bit about why I'm doing the Inktober, and to be honest, why I'm choosing to put this up on the internet, on YouTube. So first off, the Inktober. Why do I want to do the Inktober? In the Inktober challenge. First off, it's committing to a challenge for the entire month. It's committing to sit down and draw every day and produce something finished. Committing to a month-long challenge and drawing every day. Most importantly for me, it's also just committing to a single medium, and not really just a style, but just a medium, because I love experimenting, and I will do so anyway because I can't stop. But keep going just with inks and just really focusing on that for the month. I think that's gonna work out pretty well. The last thing is I really want to improve my, not just my inking, but general my work in inks, because I've experimented a lot with it, and I really like what can happen and what you can make with ink, of all the different ways you can use ink. And I've been lucky a few times trying it out, but to be honest, it's not. I think it's one in 3 that works out super well. So I want to improve that. Another thing I want to improve is my monotone skills, and it's both the entire black and white and the gray spectrum. Not just that, but also just using few colors. I'm just gonna stick to these 3 colors, really, and then the black. And to be honest, mostly I'm gonna go with black because, Inktober, October, Halloween, stuff like that. So I'm gonna be focusing a lot on monotones and only using just a few colors. This is why I'm doing Inktober, I guess. Committing and improving. And then why I want to do YouTube. As stated earlier, I've been kind of putting YouTube creating content for YouTube off for the last around, I guess, 10 years or something. One of the reasons I really want to do YouTube in general is to just start editing videos. I've played a little bit with it at school during small animations in After Effects, and then editing it together with sound and music and stuff like that in Premiere. But and all the way back in the start, it was what's it called, Windows Movie Maker, and it worked fine back then. Now I just have the better programs, more choices of what I want to do in them, so I might as well use them. Otherwise they're just gonna sit on my computer and exist, and that's sad. And that's pretty much why I want to do YouTube. get better at editing and all the technical stuff, and just use the programs and be more productive and just play around with more mediums. The reason I want to do an art challenge though is because I watch a lot of art channels, and they always spark this inspiration, either in what to draw or just to draw, or how to do a lot of things. A few years ago, when I started doing watercolors seriously, I watched a lot of watercolor videos and just used them to figure out techniques and see what worked for me and what didn't work for me, and kind of like experiment just to evolve my own style. And it worked pretty nicely, so I don't know, maybe someone can learn from me, or I can learn from someone else. I don't know, I guess that maybe something I'm doing could help someone else, or something I'm doing wrong can be corrected or something like that. So it's just creating a space for experimentation and evolving my I don't know, sense of visual storytelling, I guess. That's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and of course just to log what I do and how I evolve, and I think in 5 years it's gonna be quite interesting to look back at these videos and see what I did and how I did it. Just maybe I'll just get a better understanding of where I came from and where I'm going. I think it's gonna be interesting. Let's try this experiment. I'm gonna be off.